Hello everyone! Last week, I shared a short version of hampu noodles with a ground pork sauce, and it seems that many of my lovely audience members were interested in the ground pork sauce. So I've decided to create a more detailed, long version of the recipe for this delicious dish. I had a great time filming this video, and I hope you'll enjoy watching the process and maybe even give this recipe a try to discover for yourself just how delicious these hampu noodles are with the flavorful ground pork sauce. So let's get started. We start with the dough for noodles. Add 300 gram all-purpose flour, 2 gram salt, 150 gram water in mixing bowl. Combine until there isn't any dry flour, then get in with hand to knead into shape of a ball. It is going to be a rough dough ball in the beginning, but not to worry, we will cover and let the dough ball rest for 10 minutes, then come back, knead again for 2 to 3 minutes. After 10 minutes, knead the dough ball for 2 to 3 minutes, and you will notice that dough is slowly become softer and smoother during this process. After about 2 to 3 minutes of kneading, then we'll cover, let it rest again for additional 10 minutes. Second round of 10 minutes later, we'll come back and continuing kneading for another 2 to 3 minutes. The dough is getting even softer and smoother than first time, but we're not quite done yet. Let's cover again, let it rest for last round of 10 minutes. Total of 30 minutes later, we'll knead for another 2 to 3 minutes one last time. Then we will let the dough rest for final 5 minutes after this last time kneading. To summarize this initial process, basically we need to let the dough rest for a total of 30 minutes, but we will knead the dough every 10 minutes for 2 to 3 minutes of kneading. After 5 minutes, we will roll this dough ball into a shape of a log. Then divide the dough to 10 portions of a small dough ball. Using either container or tray, and make sure to well oil either container or tray all around. Roll each one of a small dough ball into a small shape of a log. Then using hand to flatten each piece to about half centimeter in thickness. Brush oil thoroughly all around the dough strip. We'll repeat the same process until finished with all 10 portions of dough. Then we'll place them either one on top of each other or next to each other in the tray or container and cover with the lid. Let it rest at least 1 hour, or you can store in refrigerator overnight, using it next day. Just make sure to bring it out to room temperature first before pulling them if you're using it next day. Let's prepare the pork sauce while waiting on the dough. I used a half pound of ground pork today. Optional, using 1 serrano pepper, 1 jalapeno pepper, some Thai chilies if you like spicy. Then we will need some garlic cloves, 1 small knob of ginger, and 2 scallions. First, I'll remove all the seeds from the jalapeno pepper, serrano pepper, as well as Thai chilies. Then finely chop all peppers as small as you can. This is optional to add all the peppers. This is only if you like a little spicy and a lot stronger flavor. Garlic cloves and a ginger needs to be minced as well. Finely chop scallions. We'll need to separate green parts and white parts. Because we're using green parts to garnish in the end, the white parts will go in to stir fry with the ground pork. Also need 1 star anise and 1 teaspoon of Sichuan peppercorns. Heat up a pan over medium-high heat. Give about 3 tablespoons any neutral oil. Olive oil is okay as well. Then we'll add all spices in first. Stir fry for a few minutes until you can smell all aroma from spices. Then add 1 tablespoon red bean paste. Stir fry and well mix red bean paste with all ingredients for a couple minutes. As you toss around all ingredients together, you should see this deep red glossy color from the red bean paste being cooked through. Add ground pork in. We'll stir fry to separate and loosen up ground pork. Stir fry for a couple minutes also helps evaporate all moisture from pork. By the way, this recipe also works wonderfully with ground beef or chicken if you're not a fan of pork. After 2 to 3 minutes stir fry, let's flavor the meat. Add Shaoxing cooking wine, soy sauce, oyster sauce, and 5 spices or 13 spices. 1 tablespoon of salt as well. Consistently stir fry and toss them around about 3 to 5 minutes over medium-high heat. Just take a look at this beautiful deep red color, and it smells sensational here. Now we add 1 tablespoon of sugar and continue in stir fry, allowing sugar dissolves in the meat. My stove is turned off. I'm only using the remaining heat from a cast iron pan to finish the cooking. Today, I purposely overcooked a little bit to get this crispy and less saucy texture. If you like more saucy, all you need to do is after adding the sugar, then also add 1 cup of water or any bone or chicken stock. Mix well, then cover with the lid, let it cook for 2 more minutes, then turn off the stove. Just take a look at this beautiful ground pork sauce. Isn't this so inviting? Just the right amount of spicy and heat. Let me tell you, this ground pork sauce is incredibly versatile. You can use it for mapo tofu, add it to steamed eggs, stir fry it with string beans, eggplants, or simply enjoying it on its own with rice. I typically prefer to stir fry a large batch at once, store it in the refrigerator, and use it on days when I want to prepare a quick meal with some protein. Okay, the sauce is ready, set on the side. Let's bring big pot of water to boil first. We're going to hand pull the noodles, then drop into the boiled water immediately to cook noodles. Take 1 noodle dough, press down and sliding and stretch towards to both sides a little bit. Then using chopstick, press down right in the middle to create a dent. Hold both ends of the dough and starting to stretch. Head working surface as you stretch longer. Head work surface multiple times to help stretch longer until you desire the thickness and length. Break single noodles apart from where the dent is, make it 2 pieces of noodles. Once the noodles have reached the desired length and thickness, immediately drop it into boiling water to cook it. Repeat the same process until you reach the desired amount of noodles. That's why it's important to prepare a pot of boiling water before pulling the noodles. Add 2 tablespoons soy sauce in serving plate, then transfer cooked noodles into plate. We'll mix noodles with the soy sauce first. Add desired amount of ground pork sauce and your desired vegetable on top. Today I used sliced cucumbers. Big crunchy and refreshing cucumber slices balance so well with the savory and super flavorful ground pork sauce. Garnish with minced scallions, toss and well combine everything together. Then enjoy and slurp away.